let me show you how to deal with difficult people in the workplace. Have you ever had that one employee that comes in and busts through the door and has to broadcast all of their personal business to the whole office? Or maybe it's that one coworker that has a sole purpose in life to make yours miserable. Well, fact is, we can't control who we work with, and difficult people live amongst us. So what do? The big question is, how do you survive in a toxic environment and still be professional at the same time? Well, the answer is simple. We learn to identify and manage difficult people. Doing this will actually help us in the long run and help us have a successful career and easily keep our sanity between the hours of 8 to 5. In my research of this project, I did learn that it is not so hard to understand someone and that we can easily get along with anyone if we just take the time to really navigate through the other person's mindset. According to a 2014 Forbes Journal publication, How Successful People Handle Toxic People, author Travis Bradberry states that studies have long shown that stress can have lasting negative impact on the brain. He also further on says that it's also too much stress is detrimental to your success and can also hinder your performance at your job. In the next few minutes, let me show you how to identify and manage a difficult person in the workplace. First, we can't avoid difficult people, so let's identify them. Second, how do you manage a difficult coworker? And finally, how do you survive a difficult boss? Before we can successfully identify and manage, we really need to understand how to recognize one. Thanks to a 2019 Forbes Journal publication, A Guide to Dealing with Difficult People, author Chris Cancellosi identifies a difficult person while trying to explain their roles of personality. Understanding their personality, preference, and triggers can help you recognize the types of people that will irritate you. There are 6 types of personalities according to Chris. We will start with the perfectionists. These people have to have it perfect. And the bad thing is, they take too long. Because they want perfection, it can really frustrate someone if the project isn't done in a timely manner. Next, we have control freaks. These people will take over a project if they can, and they will do it the way they want to. So if it's a project that you need done in a specific manner, you're going to get really frustrated with one of these types. Creative people. Creative people are great for innovation, but they're horrible for projects because they have too many ideas and sometimes fail to execute. Shapers. Shapers are the ones that will come in and take over a project. They're great at getting things done, but what is it worth if it's not your project? Aggressive and defensive people. These people can really push a project forward. Bad thing is their off-putting personality can tend to really make groups of people angry and coworkers angry. And finally, submissive people. These people have a complete fear, have a lack of confidence, and a fear of failure, which has a negative effect on the work environment. In a 2015 publication, Working with Difficult People, author Steve Gladys helps us to better understand the different mindsets of a good or bad employee by understanding their mindset. A fixed mindset person will continue to try to prove themselves and support their image of self-success, while a growth-minded person will stretch themselves and take risks, thus opening the door for more opportunities. The question at hand, though, is, do you think your way of thinking is the only way, or is there room for improvement? Is there a better way to evolve your thinking? Difficult people tend to be a direct growth of a fixed mindset. With a better understanding of how to identify a difficult person, let's now shift our learning on how to handle a difficult coworker. According to a 2017 article, How to Deal with a Difficult Coworker and What We Can Learn from Them, author Jill Richards outlines 5 methods for managing a difficult coworker and keeping the peace. One is going to start off with keep your relationships and build with your coworkers in perspective. Whatever you do, don't try to make friends with people at work. You weren't hired to make friends. Do your job. Also, focus on keeping your emotions out of it. 2, Commit yourself to learning from them. Learn from those experiences. Learn from those relationships. You can actually learn by opposites by seeing how someone acts and acting completely different. Next, take on some responsibility. Are you contributing to the problem? Are you making the coworker angry? Is there something you can do to fix it? Try to see from the outside and find if there's a way to fix the situation. Finally, accept the relationship. Understand that difficult relationships exist and try to be professional. The best approach is to accept people that know they think differently than the way you think and respond to situations a little bit differently than you have before. You may dislike or disagree in working with a difficult person, but just remember, you have to understand their point of view. And most importantly, ditch the difficulties. Remember that none of your coworkers were hired to please you, and make your central focus on you and not the difficult person. Author Steve Gladys presents to us two key things to remember in this. One being, don't die in the fight. Know when to pick the battle and know when to have that conversation. He also states, rise above the situation. Rising above means you have to be the bigger person, and sometimes it is critically important to do that. He stresses that successful people know how to live to exist another day, and that's by being smart and understanding their coworkers. Managing a difficult boss. This is a very interesting topic because you have to announce it with caution, or approach it with caution. In a 2018 Forbes general publication, 4 Ways to Manage a Difficult Boss, author Ashley Stahl presents to us 4 ways to successfully handle a difficult supervisor. She starts off by telling us, be mindful at work. Understand what's going on around you. Understand that there are things in the office that will be difficult. Next, she tells us, de-stress yourself. It's very important because if you go and you do not let go of some of your frustrations, you'll be a ticking time bomb. As for myself, I like to go and use my Fitbit and use breathing exercises, go for an afternoon run, or go to the gym at lunch. That's my way of de-stressing and leaving the work environment. Next, empathy. You have to be empathetic. Your boss might be going through something that you don't know about, like probably maybe upper management's pressing down on her really hard. Take responsibility. You have to take responsibility. Is there anything you can do? Is there something you can say? Anything that you can do that would make the situation better for your boss and make it easier to work with? And venting outside. Venting outside is critically important. We have to go out and we have to let all of our tension go. We have to talk to our family and our friends. But do not talk to your coworkers because that is how you get work gossip. Steve Gladys also suggests approaching any difficult supervisor, you must do it with caution. Understand that you have to give empathy, but you might not receive any. Also, understand that you have to protect your time from your supervisor so they don't monopolize it. And pitch your ideas as if it was their own. Gladys also makes it very clear that when all else fails, you need to consider the alternatives. One being, is there a way you can transfer to a different position within your company? Can you stick it out and perhaps maybe your boss will see her own actions and change? And lastly but not least, find a new job. Find a job that will appreciate you and consider you for what you are as a valuable asset. Today I showed you how to identify a difficult person, deal with a difficult coworker, and manage a difficult supervisor. Understanding how to identify and manage a difficult coworker or supervisor in the workplace will help you thrive in your career. Unfortunately, we all face difficult people at certain points of our life, but learning from and identifying these people will help you keep your sanity and make you successful. Finally, my last point, be thankful for the difficult people in your life because they shape you for who you are and they teach you how not to act.